after the hour of 12 o'clock. If you are tuning in from the north of Pretoria and parts of the west of Pretoria, you are listening to TUT FM 96.2, and it is your ultimate doubt. Of course, if you are in the CBD in parts of the south of Pretoria, all the way to Centurion and heading just into Midrand, you are listening to Swan FM 93.6, is the station that rock you most. My name is Mokete Radebe, your host this afternoon, and we've had an interesting time. And I think you were just tuning in the press briefing there, where we're speaking to the Minister of Higher Education. And he's added another portfolio now that includes science, I think science, technology, and innovation. And we're also joined by the Vice Chancellor of the People's University, very popular as well. He is Professor Lawrence Siabonga Mahlangu van Staden, joining us as well this afternoon. Minister and VC, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much for inviting us.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting, and I'm going to try and be short and sharp. The purpose of today we've captured, it's really assessing the preparedness of our institutions of higher learning, and TUT here with a lot of various setups, so to say. I mean, catering to a variety of students from different locations. You did mention that you're overall impressed, but just to the listener at home, what are some of the particular things that were impressed with what you saw today?
Well, first of all, I think I'm impressed by the commitment of management. They are back at work to actually prepare for the phased return of the different categories of students. Of course, they were the first group of clinical training students who have returned, some of them. And then we are now looking at, since we are at level 3, at preparedness for the first batch of 1/3 of students. I'm quite impressed by the level of the campus, just very basic things, but which are very important. The markings now, on the floor, in one of the lecture halls that I've seen, preparations for physical distancing. And of course, as I was saying earlier, it was very nice to go into a laboratory that's supported by the institutions that fall under my ministry, just to see how it is working together. For instance, there are students who are trainees there, who are studying. Some of them are supported by one of our sitters, the chemical seat. And also that laboratory in itself is one of our flagship projects in the Department of Science and Innovation, which is technology stations, where we actually support research, innovation, including, by the way, what impresses me about it is that also people from local communities who are doing their own cosmetics, they've got a facility where they can come and test whether their cosmetics actually are worth it. And some of the research that is being done here, which actually shows me the extent to which TUT has anchored itself in its own environment, in its own community and so on. The Vice Chancellor was also telling me about the relationship that the institution has with the automotive sector, which is located not far from here in Rosny, which is something that is very, very important. But also, I think that what also impresses me is that with TUT being very conscious of the environment in which it operates, can actually act as one of the trailblazers in what the President now is insisting on. Let's use this COVID-19 and in dealing with it to begin to build a new economy.
Interesting. 37 after 12 o'clock, we are speaking to Dr. Nzimande, that is the Minister for Higher Education and Science and Innovation. Minister, just before I let you go and go to the Vice Chancellor, I think there's, through the survey that we're doing with students and other members of society, just prior to this engagement, some of the questions that came through was, what are some of the interventions that government is willing to commit to in terms of alleviating the burden of institutions like TUT, where there's a challenge of missing middles? How are you guys assisting in that regard? We know that you might not have the one-size-fits-all sort of solution to that, but as a startup.
No, on our side, as the department, we've actually done a lot of work over the last 4 to 6 weeks. To such an extent that we know exactly the challenge that faces each of our institutions. When we're talking about universities, it's the same with TUT colleges as well. We know exactly where each TUT college is, where each university. We've even categorized, we have 26 public universities. We know that 12 of them are fairly okay in terms of preparedness and dealing capacity to deal with a lot of these challenges relating to management of COVID-19. But 14 of them have got challenges, and 10 have got the worst kind of challenges that they have. We're working together in assisting the institutions in supporting them to reprioritize their own budgets. But we are also working towards reprioritizing budget that is in our hands so that we are able to support. For example, I will give you more details later today, progress that we're making now in terms of assisting in the main NSFAS students to get gadgets and data. But we're already impressed, by the way. I didn't mention this with TUT, that out of its own resources, it has reprioritized about 100 million rand to actually give data to support students, which is something that is very important. It makes life very easy for us as a department if institutions like TUT are able not to wait, sit back and say, where is the department, but to begin to say, if we need this assistance from the department, we have already started on our side by doing what we are doing. So we're fairly clear about what each institution needs. We are working on reprioritization of budget. And of course, where necessary, we are looking for additional funding, although the situation doesn't look that great in terms of additional funding, given the huge needs in the country. For instance, we have made new commitments in terms of social grants as government. President has said so. So now we have to choose between giving additional money to this university as opposed to actually paying the people that were promised who are unemployed that they will get a monthly grant of 350 rand for a few months. But we are clear about, that is the progress that we've made, that we know the nature and the scale of the problem. Of course, visiting an institution like TUT also gives you things that you may not have been aware of. Like Professor van Staden was talking about foreign students. I was not aware, I must say, that TUT has got students who come from 40 different countries. That's quite a huge challenge, and many of them are not here. And we're at level 3 and one challenge. So in other words, it's one thing to plan at a macro level, which is important, but also to get to know in a specific institution what the nature of the challenge is very helpful to then inform us better about the situation on the ground.
Interesting. If you just jumped in, this is TUT FM 96.2, and of course also Tshwane FM 93.2, the station that continues to rock you most. And we're joined by the Minister of Higher Education and Science and Technology, that is Dr. Nzimande, also the Vice Chancellor of the Tshwane University of Technology, Professor Lawrence van Staden. My name is Mokete Radebe, and we're having this thing today. Prof, let me just jump back to you. We are quite aware of the complexity of the TUT campuses. Yes, Prof. So we are aware that some campuses in parts of your Polokwane, Emalahleni, Mbombela are not obviously in the same infrastructural position, as compared to your Pretoria-based or Gauteng-based campuses. In terms of now the practical, implementation of the multimodal plan that you are bringing in, can you just take us through? Is it going to be a one-size-fits-all? Is it going to be campus-based?
No, what we plan is according to the alert levels that the minister. So we will bring back during this level 30% of our students.
Yeah.
So this is across all campuses where they are studying. So they will return on the 20th of July back to the campus to start face-to-face learning. Then there will be in September the second, third, if alert level 2 is there. They have been announced, then another third will return, and then month later the last group, so that